Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Version 1, a place where interesting people come to talk about their creative processes, imposter syndrome, inspiration, failures along the way, and much more. I'm your host, Waverly, and we are at My Friend's Basement podcast studio in Brooklyn, New York. Follow the show on Instagram at Version1 Podcast and subscribe to our Substack, version1podcast.substack.com. And you can also find me on buymeacoffee.com/Waverly Colville if you want to support the show. You can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcasts or head over to YouTube to watch the video version and leave us a nice review. All right, everybody, I am here this week with my guest, Melly Adkins, founder and fashion designer of Merci Dema. Melly, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Could we just start with having you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Melly. I am born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I come from a very big family. My mother has 7 children.
I'm one of 7 too.
Oh, wow. That is...
Okay, so we get it.
We get it. I also don't meet many people who have that many siblings. And there are 5 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm very comfortable being around women.
What number are you?
I'm number 3.
Oh, cool.
So everybody
right in the
else
middle.
is younger. But yeah, I'm the oldest boy.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Well, technically not right in the middle. My sister is.
Gotcha.
And I, as a kid growing up in Milwaukee, I loved to be outside, loved to partake in like self-taught gymnastics and bike rides and stuff like that. And ultimately, I knew I wanted to be an attorney very, very young. And so I am a licensed attorney, and I'm an emerging designer. So I think, you know, artistry has always been an interest, but because I grew up in the Midwest and I didn't have very many examples of like DJs who were making it, or painters or singers or any other type of creative, you know, I leaned into being an attorney. That's what brought me to New York. I've been here for 6 years, but I've lived in 5 states. And I'm a traveler. I love to eat. And I'm so excited today to be talking about my new baby, Merci Dema.
Yes, I'm so excited. For those watching the YouTube version, we're both in Merci Dema t-shirts. So you can also see some things on the table. So yeah, if you're listening to the podcast version, definitely head over to Melly's Instagram or the YouTube version to see some of his work. And we're definitely going to get into that.
Yes.
When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So I think this is a good question, and thank you for asking. When I was a child, my first mind actually was some sort of artist. Well, let me be more specific. I wanted to be a poet. And I think that comes from my love of music. My mother listened to R&B music all the time, and hip hop too. And so naturally, because she listened to it, so did I. And what I heard was just poems, like poems over beats, sounds. And I started writing around 12, maybe a little bit sooner. And that really fulfilled me. That made me very happy. And, you know, I think that's exactly why we're here today, because that's what I wanted to be. But then there's like this other part, right? And the other part of it is like, I also sought stability, and I think that like those Midwestern values and culture was in me. And so I also wanted to be a lawyer. And so I wanted to be both of those things. And up until now, I really leaned into being a lawyer, but I'm happy that I've kind of gotten back to what I really wanted to do, which is like express myself through some medium. And I've chose clothing, and I'm so proud to be launching Merci Dema very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you had both like sort of like right brain and left brain qualities to you. Like you wanted this like logical path, but you also had this like very creative itch. And it's very cool that you're getting to do both now as an adult. Could you talk to me a bit about sort of like your early career days? You're starting out working as an attorney. You know, what was that like? And how did you decide to transition into fashion design?
Yeah. So just to be clear, I am still a licensed attorney. And it's a career that I work hard to build. I think ultimately, being an attorney doesn't dimensionalize me like you talked about, like right brain, left brain, right? Like being an attorney, like in order to be an attorney, I have to be LaMel, not Melly, right? That is like, maybe I wear a tie, but definitely a button up, definitely like some slacks that probably are not that comfortable. And my identity doesn't get to like show through fully. And so I think early on, I have never really felt comfortable as an attorney. I'll be very honest, and not like imposter syndrome, uh, more like something feels off. Like there's not enough synergy here. There's not enough positive energy for me. Like I know I'm making money. I know people need me. I know like there is some utility and like some version of me is satisfied by this, but like this doesn't feel like home. And so I spent years like that. I think, you know, from being in law school, even I never really felt comfortable. And I know that like comfort is not a necessity in order to have like a happy and fulfilling life. Like I think sometimes challenges can bring the best out of us. But I think early career, I was just like grinding and being the lawyer that I thought my family, myself, and society wanted me to be. And ultimately, that led me to a burnout and led me to like this really beautiful drive from North Carolina to Los Angeles with my sister, where she asked me a question, which got me to be sitting on this couch with you today because I'm launching this brand and I want to talk about it so much and the meaning and messaging behind it.
What was that question that your sister asked you?
This is wonderful. I love how this is going so far. So my sister, there's this game called We're Not Really Strangers. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I have the deck of cards.
I need a sponsorship at this point. We're not like give your boy something.
Sponsor this podcast.
Sponsor this podcast. We're Not Really Strangers. So she's like, "Do you want to play?" And I had heard of this game from social media, and I'm like, "Sure." So being the good big brother and little big brother that I am, I drove her to LA. We got there in like 2.5 days or something. Extremely fast from North Carolina. Like supposed to take like a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to take like 4 or 5 days to get across the country.
We really didn't stop.
Wow.
Yeah, I like to drive. I get that from my grandfather. And so we're in the car and she's like, "Yeah, do you want to play this game?" I'm like, "Yes, LA," that's her name. "I would love to play the game with you." And there are 3 levels. And so, you know, the first level was fun. It was like, "Melly, do you think I can keep a plant alive?" And we answer this question for each other. And it's like kind of harmless. The second level, which is where I think the question came, she said, "Well, yeah, it's what do you think the hardest part of my job is?" And we had to answer this question for one another. And so she says, "Well, your time is not yours. Most people know attorneys are busy people." Next thing she says is, "You're probably stressed out. Most people know it's a very stressful, demanding profession." So I agreed. I took no issue with that. The third thing she said, it pissed me off. It like, I was upset and I was uncomfortable, but she sent me back home to myself, which is my goal with Merci Dema for everyone who wears it and comes into contact. But she says, "I know you as a creative, but you're not doing that every day. So then who are you becoming?"
Wow.
And when I couldn't answer the question. I sat there like, it's supposed to be a fun road trip. Like, why are you doing this to me? Like and she has well, now she knows because we've talked about this, but she did not know what she was starting because I had already been feeling this discomfort. Like I just said, I being an attorney is not a part of my identity. It's a job. And I mean, no disrespect to the profession. It's helped me to start this business. But that question was like the straw that broke the camel's back, but in the best way. And so I'm very thankful for that game and for my sister who she has this saying like, "I'm just sending you back home to yourself." And I think that's like, I think that's any of our jobs in life is like to get back home. And I think we only have one home, that's ourselves. And, you know, to get as honest, as in depth, to understand, and to be friends with ourselves to the best of our abilities, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, ancestrally. And so, yeah, that question, I still like, I'm a little emotional now, like talking about it, because it just felt so visceral, and it still does.
Yeah, it really struck a chord with you and really
Yeah.
changed your life, it sounds like.
It was crazy.
So after she asks you that question and it makes you like angry enough to realize, holy shit, like I gotta get back on track to
Yeah.
like to your home, you know, so to
Exactly.
speak. Like,
Exactly.
what did you do like after that? Like in terms of like taking the steps to start your brand?
Yeah, sure. So, I think the first thing I did was I'm an emotional person. And so I got back to my roots. When I was a kid, I would cry a lot, which is, I think that was born from emotion and sensitivity. And I think friends and family would be like, man, only girls cry, like stop being soft, stop being a punk. And I knew something about that wasn't honest, like at least not to me and for me. Like it was honest for them, and I respect that. But I think I went back to that version of me, and I think like that's exactly what I'm calling people to do, because I feel like Merci Dema is vulnerable luxury. It's this new concept that I'm coining, and vulnerable luxury is all about understanding that the things that are worth the most in life actually don't cost anything, but they will require a great deal of vulnerability. But like they won't cost you money, right? And like from Michelin star dinners to luxury purses, like all the material luxuries of life are just brilliant. However, I think like time wealth, right? Like if you could wake up and do whatever you wanted to do every day, like you'd be rich, right? And like money aside, and I know that may require some money, but like I'm trying to communicate and like get people to understand that, like, being able to like self-actualize, being able to have time wealth, like I just said, being able to like accept accountability and like cry if you need to, and then use those tears, which are just communication, to get to wherever you're going. Like that is the goal. And so that's vulnerable luxury. And I feel like when I was young, I knew that. Like I didn't have the words. I have them now. I knew that. And so I think I went back to the younger version of myself. And the younger version of myself and I started to have this conversation. It's like, okay, what's next? I fasted for 3 days. Dry fast.
Whoa.
No water, no food. First time.
Wait, how is that like possible?
You just do it.
Oh my gosh.
And because I've heard that fasting can be like a spiritual thing.
Oh, okay.
Also like for discipline, some people do it for religious reasons. And I wanted to like dabble, and I guess I saw that question as the catalyst for an opportunity. And I did that. It was very challenging, but you know what? By the third day, I felt unstoppable. 100%. I had no water. I had no food. I took a walk in Central Park with my dog, and I felt like I could run through a brick wall. And then I started to pontificate in a sort of existential way, like, okay, Melly, if we're not gonna be an attorney forever, what is next? And so I started thinking about it. I had a journal I'm writing. I'm like, well, I really love food. Like I've been to about 50 countries, eating at some of the best places in the world, and like mom and pop spots I don't know the name of. So I really love food, but I'm like, I'm not about to go be a chef. I don't want to do that. I was like, maybe a podcast around food. I wrote that down. I wrote down poetry because I used to write poetry, but I'm like, it might be hard to make money from poetry. And then I wrote down clothing brand. I'm like, what would I call it? And it's cool because I still look back at that page and I started to write names down, and I got to Merci Dema. Merci, of course, is thank you in French, or thanks, and Dema is tears in Hebrew. And I wanted to pick two very distinct languages because I'm a complicated person. So I'm I'm made up of all sorts of things, like the R&B that my mother used to play, but also like my love for Tokyo, and this complicated relationship I have with like being an attorney, but also being an artist, and like wanting to give more attention and respect to the artistry as opposed to the attorney. And I think lots of people can relate to like being complicated and having multiple identities that sometimes like cross pollinate, or multiple hobbies, multiple friend groups. And so Merci Dema felt honest, to like communicate and connect to the world, but also to who I am. I cried a lot, and my tears, maybe some people would say, oh, it makes you soft, and that's okay. Like, that's their opinion. I don't have to be moved by that. More importantly, what they did is they're helping me to learn and discover myself. They're helping me to learn to like set boundaries with people, and ultimately they're helping me to self-actualize. Because if I didn't cry, and I cried during that 3-day fast, because I was reflecting on this question that my sister asked me, and I'm crying now because I'm like, she's right. Like, I'm dying inside. Well, at least the artist is dying if I stay on this path.
Wow, that's a really incredible experience and story, it sounds like. Did you ever have any moments of like, oh shit, like, I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of people who you're very like obviously highly educated and
Yeah.
worked really hard
Yeah.
to become an attorney. Like, it's not easy to become a lawyer. Like, law school is super fucking hard and super expensive. Like, did you ever think to yourself, oh no, I spent too much money or too much time invested in one path, it's too late to change? Like, I think it's very like brave of you to like totally change to something new. And I think there's a lot of people in your position who, maybe aren't happy at their jobs, but are afraid to leave because they invested so much down one path. So how did you kind of like make that, like, did you experience any hesitation, or do you have any advice for people that were in that position?
This is a really good question, Miss Waverly. I appreciate the question. And it's sort of a hard one too, because it's complicated. I think surface level, yes. I had apprehension and hesitation, and I grappled with, will people even like me making clothing? Like, will people understand this new identity, this new way of communicating, this new way of existing? Is it a sustainable way to make a lifestyle? Like, am I signing myself up for some really hard years? But that's fear and anxiety. It also might be true, but like, I don't know that yet. Like, and so I think that was like surface. But I think going back to the fast, on a deeper level, I have this confidence about myself and my humanity. Over my life, I think I've had to exude a great deal of equanimity. Personally, professionally, law school being one, the bar exam being one. Like, literally, when I was in the bar exam, some girl passed out in front of me.
Oh,
And I did not stop taking that test. And I do not feel bad about that. I don't think, to anybody taking the bar, if somebody passes out, you keep going, don't stop. And so I think I tapped into that confidence, and I think when I listen to that voice, which is less focused on fear and anxiety, more focused on what my skill set is, what I'm capable of, what I've been able to overcome, I think that voice was like, let's fucking do it. Like, let's go, and let's be remembered, because as an attorney, you likely won't be remembered. There are thousands of attorneys. Like, I think when I got sworn in alone, there must have been like maybe 1,000 or something, maybe more, that got sworn in that day. That's happening often. And so I'm just like one in a bunch. And I guess somebody could say, well, yeah, there's lots of artists too, and lots of them never get discovered. I would rather take that risk. Than to live my life as an attorney and constantly ask myself, well, what if I could have done that? And I remember I was having a conversation with somebody like a couple years ago, and the saddest question of my life, I think, was asked to me, or no, the saddest answer to a question I gave. She said, if you could be anything, like in your next life, if you could be anything, what would you be? That's a really trippy question, because it's like, well, at least where I'm at right now, spiritually, I only get like one life physically. And so what I do with it is precious. And I started thinking like, well, I was like, well, maybe I would like open up a Michelin star restaurant, or I would do something in fashion. Definitely. Like I said, I think I would kill it. And I'm like, but that's the next life. And something about that didn't sit with me. I'm like, that doesn't feel honest. Like, but I wasn't ready. I had not arrived at that place.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and for disclosure, I'm 35. I'll be 36 this year. And so I think a part of like a surface level reasoning was age. Cause, I spent 5 years in undergrad. I spent another 3.5 in law school. Then I took the bar exam. I sometimes like slept in hotel rooms for internships just to like build up my resume. So both inside and outside of the classroom, I dedicated a lot to the law.
Yeah.
And so your question is great and it's hard, but it's like, yep, I devoted a lot of time. But the good thing is I learned lots of skills. And so I can be my own lawyer. And so like, really, it's like I'm just transferring energy from law to art. And so I think that makes it a lot easier to exist in this space and like not really have imposter syndrome and like not really be worried about what if, because it's like, well, I've set my life up to where I have the best fallback plan. Like literally, I can go back to being a lawyer. Well, I'm still a licensed attorney. So long as I keep my licensure up, I can just apply to jobs or get clients on my own. And so it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Like I literally cannot lose.
That's an amazing way to look at things. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Merci Dema,
Yeah.
especially for those listening and not watching the video version, could you describe your pieces that you have so far?
Yeah, so Merci Dema is vulnerable luxury. I talked about that. I believe that I am creating clothing that tells stories. So right now, you and I are wearing t-shirts. It's called the We All Cry tee. And it's alien, very beautiful, cute alien.
Very cute. Anyone can see.
As you said, and the alien is crying. And the idea behind that is like, no matter where we're from, no matter who's in power and what type of power they think they might have over us as a people or individually, like all of us have to face loss and grief, and all of us get to triumph, hopefully. And so every piece is telling a story. Some pieces have lots of negative space. Like I have some hats with tears on the front of them. They're black hats, white tears, and nothing else. It's not because I couldn't think of something else to create, but I think a part of vulnerable luxury is like time, breath, space, because that is the exordium of any connection with ourselves. That is the exordium of any ascension. And so I think what I've done is I've created a beautiful collection. I'm so proud of it. It's called Introduction. I have 4 hats, 3 camper hats with my logos, 1 5-panel that I'm wearing. Very, very, it's like an eggshell and blue suede brim with my logo. I've created 2 purses, Midnight Confession, Midnight Petition. I've created these pants, as you see, that have a corporate shirt at the bottom of them. That's on purpose.
Yeah, what's the meaning behind that?
So my design language as the creative director of Merci Dema, I'm so happy I get to talk about this, is emotional rebellion oscillating between utility and no utility at all. But if we want to shorten it, let's just say it's emotional rebellion. So what does that mean? It's like okay, I made a pair of pants and I've done something interesting. I have a shirt at the bottom of them. And you think like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, I'm communicating something about how I see the world. And I'm communicating something about, like, I think what it takes to exist in a space of like vulnerable luxury. Sometimes things may start to feel a little askew, a little out of place, a little off center, because the rest of the world is so focused on material things, follows, likes, instant gratification. And I think sometimes to partake in a journey based on vulnerable luxury is like to be alone, to be confused, to maybe not make sense of things all the time, but to keep going. And so these pants are communicating like how I see the world and like what my journey has been, just as a person who's deeply emotional and feels that, as a person that like wants other people to feel invited. Like when people see these pants, if they get it, then I know those are my people. And people, I mean, I've worn them in Tokyo, I've worn them in London, I've worn them here, and people are like, yo, where are these pants from? I'm like, they're mine. I made them. Also, they come in black and blue too.
They're so cool.
Thank you.
I hope everyone.
I don't know if people can see them, but yeah, this is like, and you can unbutton. So they're
for
functional.
A sock reveal,
yeah,
and a shoe reveal. That's so cool.
So like but that has almost no utility. It's literally just art. And so I have created a collection that like moves through art, fashion, and memory. Right. And so they're called corp pants. So like literally corporate pants. Because they are kind of corporate, except they kind of not.
Yeah.
They're baggy. They have like this 90s feel to them. I'm from Milwaukee, and when I was younger, a big staple in the community was Jabot jeans. And I always wanted some, but I never got them. They're like quintessential, like late 90s, early 2000s fashion, like super baggy, hip hop, like streetwear before like streetwear was like as mainstream of a term as it is. Like those were it to me. And I wanted to make like my version of that. And so I love cargo pants, but I wanted to do something that I haven't seen. And so, yeah, I took a shirt and I turned it upside down.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so unique. Like you are not going to find those pants anywhere else.
Exactly. Well, if people start copying me, don't do it. Then maybe, but yeah, like you don't see it now. And also I've like created a bag from a hoodie. So like this is the hood of a hoodie. If you like turn it this way, I have it on. I've removed the kangaroo pocket so I can put my hands in. And this is a bag, right? So again, it's emotional rebellion oscillating between utility and none at all. So like this has utility. So does the hood of a hoodie. But really I'm storytelling.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm communicating something about like how precious the hoodie has been to my community, to all of us. Like it is comforting. A lot of us too have probably cried in our hoodies, found comfort in it in ways that like we may not share with people. Like hard days when we don't want to get out of bed and it's raining, you know, sleeping in your hoodie under covers, right? I have a kimono here that is made in Tokyo.
Wow.
And finished in Lisbon.
Ooh, international jacket.
Yeah. And so on the back is New York, LA, and Tokyo, right? And then it's paint splatter all over it. Again, I'm communicating. So I took a beautiful garment that my folks in Japan, I'm so sorry, but thank you. They spent a great deal of time. Like I went there and met with them. They spent a great deal of time making it, and I put it on and I felt like it wasn't complete. It was too perfect. Merci Dema is not about perfection, and neither is this first collection or anyone after, right? Like vulnerable luxury is all about connection over perfection. I think luxury in general is about perfection. It's about the most curated experience, the most curated, most expensive dinner you've had, right? And then like you can post that and brag about that. I am ushering in something that's like slightly off center, like slightly askew. So I took this beautiful kimono and I think I gave it some life and gave it a story that lots of people will want to carry. And so, yeah, these are just like a few of my pieces. I am so proud. And like, this is my first collection. So just imagine like what I have in store. And I've received I've received some very light critique from friends, but this is me. Like, this is me taking time away from being an attorney, traveling to Paris, to London, to Tokyo, crying in Tokyo, in Shibuya, and like literally right at Shibuya crossing, like as people are crossing, I'm crying, and I'm wearing my pieces. It was after I did my first photo shoot for the brand, which is on Instagram, and I was so proud of myself because I was like, yo, less than a year ago, you were like, I might be a partner at X law firm. I won't say the law firm. And now you're like saying a chief aim every morning and every night. That's like, I will be one of the best designers to ever live. And that's like the North Star. And not because like, I think it'll give me like fame and riches, because I think it will help me prove something to the little boy inside of me that still needs me like every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And your story certainly is inspirational, and you never know like who you'll like someone might see those pants and then have their own idea.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
yeah, you never know where like the magic could spread, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool that all your pieces have such interesting stories behind them. And that jacket's international, and you talk about like it sounds like you get a lot of inspiration from travel.
Yeah, 100%. Like, so the first time I left the country, I was 17. I went to Costa Rica, and I stayed in the mountains with a host family. I ate like mystery meat every day, rice and beans too, fire rice and beans. Thank you to my host mom. And it was cool. The family I stayed with, the husband, he helped the village get water. Like, him and 100 men like built pipes from some waterfall that like gave water to this entire village. It was a lot of shacks though. So my host family was more well off than the other families in the village, but we helped paint the school. We played soccer with the kids, and I just explored. I was on an adventure, and that I'm forever thankful for that journey, because I also think like in some ways Merci Dema started when I was born. And I think it like started to be cultivated when I started to feel all of these emotions as a young boy. I think it was further cemented when I went to Costa Rica. And then like every trip thereafter, now it's up to like 50 countries, have just like helped me understand myself more, helped me understand the world more, and helped me understand that like we are all so different. Mm-hmm. And yet I've been able to like laugh and find joy and share meals with people that I never thought I would. And I think the brand is also a celebration of that. Like, Merci Dema is about like, this alien is like literally some kid in Myanmar or some kid in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, experiencing joy or grief, right? And so I think my travels have been both like deeply personal. They've been fun. They've like exposed me to just so much of the world, and they've really helped me build this first collection. And I think travel will continue to be a part of my process. Like, I think every year I will need to leave the United States for some portion of time and go partake in like one of the best luxuries, which is like peace of mind, quiet. Because in that, I can start to say, okay, so we know our design language is emotional rebellion, but how can we give the people something new, right? Like, how can I not be boring as a designer? Because, you know, after they see these pants, people are going to say, well, what's next? And I want to be able to deliver. But the only way that I can do that is to like have time to myself, to not rush myself, and 100% travel will be a part of that. And sometimes that's literally being in Tokyo, in Shibuya, having a bowl of ramen at 4 a.m. by myself.
That sounds amazing. I love ramen, and I've never been to Japan, so
Oh,
I'm
you
very
gotta
jealous.
go. You have to go.
I really want to.
I have been twice now. I've been twice, and I'm so happy that is the location I chose to have my first practice photo shoot. So being a creative director is new. I've never been able to do that. So I decided to take my clothes around the world during a photo shoot. So I wanted to see how the court pants would look in Tokyo. I wanted to see how the kimono would look in Tokyo. I wanted to see how the hats would look at night with the neon lights in Tokyo. And so I did a day shoot and a nighttime shoot in Tokyo. My next stop was London, and my next stop was Paris. And so I've been to Tokyo twice. I've been to London and Paris twice, respectively. I've been to Seoul twice. Once for a concert that I missed, which is well, they start their concerts on time. So I was being an American and being on American time, like American artists are, and
2 hours late.
2 hours late, and I missed Brent Fayez, and I'm so upset. I still have the ticket stub at home. It's in Korean. It's so cool.
Oh,
so
cool.
I will see him. I'm almost gonna wait until he's back in Seoul on purpose and go and be the first one at his concert.
Be an hour early.
Please go back to Seoul, bro. Please, I will come see you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that travel is such a part of your creative process, because it is for me as well. I love to travel. And yeah, I could go on about it forever. But
Whoa. So what is, out of all the places you've been, like, what's your favorite location so far?
I wouldn't, it's so hard because, I'll say I can't choose one favorite. I will say that generally speaking, I am more attracted to like developing countries.
Oh,
because I've been to like London and Paris and like Western Europe, and those cities are so beautiful. Right. Don't get me wrong. We'll never turn down like a trip to, Europe, anywhere in Europe. Right. But I find that developing countries, I think it's just a more like kind of raw experience. Huh. And I like being really culturally challenged. And I like places that are like totally different than the United States. Like I kind of like when things are hard when you travel. Like I know that sounds like really weird, or like, because most people travel to relax, but I feel like I kind of like to take the opposite approach sometimes. So like I love like Marrakesh, Morocco was like incredible. Right? Have you've been? Yep. Yeah. And insane. I love how, and when I say the word chaotic, I mean it in a good way. Yes. Like I love how chaotic the energy is. And same thing with like parts of like Central and South America, like Peru and stuff like that. And I really love Sri Lanka. Like I think I like really colorful places that have a lot of energy to them. And before we started recording, we talked about China. And I went to China 10 years ago. Wow. Before it was, I mean, it was developed back then, but not as, it's changed so much in the 10 years. I can't even imagine what it's like now. But I went to some rural parts of China because I was on a study abroad trip through my university. And so they took us all around to 8 different cities in a bunch of different provinces. And we went to all the big hits like Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong, like very developed big cities. But then they also took us to the countryside because it was like kind of a language immersion program. So they wanted us to practice Mandarin. Yeah. And so we saw the really underdeveloped parts. And it's like also very chaotic, fun, cool energy. And I love that when you go, even if you don't speak French, right? If you go to Paris and like see a street sign, you can kind of sound it out or like kind of guess what it is, even if you don't know any French, right? Or maybe it's like close to English, or you can use context clues. China, Japan, Korea, like character-based languages, you look at something, there's no clues because there's no alphabet. You can't really sound something out. And I just love sort of like that cultural challenge of like having your world turned upside down and having it being so opposite from the US, because I think it really reveals who you are as a person deep down when everything familiar to you is stripped away.
I actually love that. And I think this is true for me. So I like to balance it out. So for every London, Paris, and Tokyo, I love a Marrakesh. I love a Egypt, going to Cairo, because like it's challenging. It is culturally different. It is chaotic in the best way. And sometimes it is just like culture shock.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I love culture shock.
I have to get used to like, this is just culturally acceptable and culturally appropriate here. No matter what I think, when I leave, it's going to happen. And in 50 years, it may be this. Hopefully it's the same, right? Like, hopefully there's not gentrification and like the real people being taken out. But I think for me, that balance helps me to create really beautifully, because like being able to relax and chill and have a nice bowl of ramen at 3 a.m. and not worry about a thing is great. But then also not being able to communicate in English with my taxi driver in Egypt, it's like midnight. I'm scared a little bit, like, I don't know where I am. Like, my service is kind of bad. And I think you're right. It brings out like, okay, where are my problem solving skills? Okay, am I actually in danger or am I just scared? Because those are not the same thing, right? Like sometimes it's just like this sort of unreasonable or reasonable fear, but like nothing is gonna happen. I just need to like take some deep breaths and chill out. And so I feel like being in both of those places, especially like right after one another, like I went to Dubai then Jordan. It was like perfect. Just like two different, like I saw dogs herding goats on the road in Jordan after I went to the Dead Sea in Petra. And I was like,
that sounds amazing.
It changed. Seeing the stars in Jordan changed me, like literally changed me. And I think, and I was like working on logos then back during, that was like last year on my birthday trip. And so it was great to like have the luxuries of Dubai and then like go to Jordan and like be like, wow, I just saw dogs herding goat. Like this is life out here. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I think from a creative standpoint too, it probably travel, like, I mean, for me, I would say like, because you're in a new place and your senses are kind of have to be more on versus walking through your neighborhood that you live in, like your mind's eye is already open.
Yeah.
So it's probably easier to kind of like get inspiration versus like being at home.
100. It's language for me, like the language of the people who are in that place. It's their fashion, like literally looking at what they wear on their feet. Like if they have makeup on, how covered are they? Like, is this a more conservative or liberal culture in terms of dressing and fashion? What foods are they eating? What do I smell? Like, are the roads paved or not? How many stars can I see at night? Like how much light pollution is here? Like all of those things are just on me. And then normally I'm also like decompressing from my life here in the United States. And so while I've been going through this journey as an emerging designer, you can imagine that that's meant like lots of contemplation and lots of introspection. And so sometimes like my greatest creations come from like sadness or grief. You know, like I am literally grieving all the ideas I had about being a lawyer. And at the same time, I'm rejoicing in like this kimono I made, these shirts that you and I are wearing, these pants. Like I look at these pants sometimes and I want to cry. Cause I'm like, yo, you didn't go to fashion school. I just believe in myself. Yeah. And like, that's also a part of it. Like vulnerable luxury, I think ultimately can get people to a place where they self-actualize. And I think when a person self-actualizes, they are like believing in themselves fully. Not to say that some days may not be hard, but like that's also a part of it. Like I want to send people back home to themselves and then get them to believe in themselves, because maybe their version of self-actualization isn't like from lawyer to designer. Like I'll be honest, that's a first world problem and that's not lost on me. You know, like, oh, Melly, do you want to be a lawyer or a designer? Life is so hard, right? Like I have to keep that into perspective because some people don't have those choices. And so I'm very fortunate. And so I don't ever want to act like that there are some people that like self-actualization looks different. But like as much as I am selling clothing, like I can't get around that. I am selling like an idea, like a way of existing, a way of viewing yourself. And I think lots of people want to be in that club. I think lots of people want to be in that community, and they might be scared too. Like they may be in that 9 to 5 stuck. Don't get stuck. And like, they don't know where to start, and just start. It may be sloppy. It may not be perfect, but I think like that's honest and we all can learn. and get better. And so, you know, that's really what the brand is about. But yeah, I love you talking about travel, because I don't think the brand would exist without travel or music. It just wouldn't. Like, those are so quintessential to my DNA.
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to music coming over here and like kind of getting high. Like, it felt almost like a football game, you know, like, this is my first podcast. This is the first time like communicating publicly about my brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do a good job, but I also want to be like authentic as possible. And so like, I hope that you hear like music in me, and you and like you feel it as you listen to me talking. I hope I am as complicated as like all of the countries combined in this world, you know, because like I am really, really interested in travel and like exploring the depths of myself, and trying to understand them first and foremost, and then like communicating what feels safe and what makes the most sense to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you have really great advice of just starting, because that could sometimes be the hardest part. Because I mean, that's why the show is called version 1, is because so many people can't even get to the first version because of their mental blocks or because of life things. You know, they might not have the time or the resources. So yeah, that's wonderful.
I love that. I love that kind. That's dope. That's dope as hell. And I think that we should stop to talk about it, because you are right. Like, version 1 is just that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and so many people are afraid of being bad at something.
Exactly.
Or so.
And one of my best friends, what's up, Walt? I'm going to give him a plug. He said, Melly, whenever you start something new, you're at level 1. And I was like, yo, damn. Okay. And it made so much sense. Like, the first time he said it, I just was quiet a little bit, like, wow, he's right. You know, if like you want to start rock climbing, you're probably not going to like start free soloing.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you like do any sort of photography, like your first few shots are probably not going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I do believe that like starting and not being afraid of what you feel, how people respond, or what product you get, but like using it as communication.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so like, I made a purse too, which I don't have right here, but like I'm on like version 7 of that purse. It's fire. But it's version 7.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of money, lots of frustration, lots of time. I'm on version 7. Right. And then like that version might be like the first version of a different design completely. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I think like version 1, just get version 1 out. And then like listen to yourself, look at version 1, have people who support you and believe in you. And then I guarantee you like version 1 can and will be version like 2 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you talk to me a bit about what your process looks like when it comes to actually designing?
This is good. So we've sort of talked about it, but like not as directly or succinctly. So yeah, sure. So designing starts with my design language. My design language, I've said it, is emotional rebellion, oscillating between no utility at all and utility. And it took me a while watching other designers, Joe Freshgoods, Virgil Abloh, my people at Amamenier, Kid Super, like listening to these people talk about their process, how they think about creating and designing in their early days. And I had to come up with like who I was. So any design starts from like, that is square one. That is who we are. That's the design language. Okay. So next is like, I want to offer something different. And so I think it's common to see like a sweatshirt, a shirt, a hat in a first collection. And I definitely have that. I think it's like less common to see a kimono like I've made, right? It's less common to see pants like this. And I think that's because like once I've like started with the language, right? Once I've asked myself, okay, like what do I want to offer the world now? then it's like, okay, I'm not that great at drawing, but I like kind of start sketching in my book, the same book that I have all the names for the clothing brand in, or the potential names rather. And then once I get there, I start to communicate with people who are way better at sketching and drawing than me. And then I start to get like sort of 3D images made. And then once that happens, the next step, or at least how I did it for the first collection, is to find a pattern maker to help me make prototypes, samples, so that I can like actually like wear it, test it out, and see if this is what I want. And then after that, a lot of editing, lots of editing, and then I go into production. And so right now, that's my process. The thing is, I'm so young as a designer, that could change. But right now, that's where I'm at. That feels great, and that has allowed me to create the first collection, Introduction, which will be available very soon. I think I'm open to it changing, but I actually like that flow now.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite part of the process?
Yeah, thinking about what I want to offer the world, just contemplating. And I guess I left the part out. I am the type of person who has shower thoughts. And like people with shower thoughts, hey, what's up, my people? Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, not just like a random thought, like, oh my God, I need to write this down. This is something actionable. And so some of my best ideas come to me in the shower. And so the kimono was not gonna have paint or anything on the back of it at first. It was gonna be normal. I kept putting it on. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel honest. It was like, man, something's missing, but what is it? And so then that's where I get a little frustrated, because it's like, I start feeling like stuck, but then I can't rush it. It's like sometimes poems come to me, like they write and I just produce them. And so I feel like, I'm in the shower sometimes, or I'm on the subway listening to some song, or like I see a couple kiss, or like, I'm in Tokyo and I see this girl's outfit and I'm like, I feel something. And in that moment is when like, it's like inspiration, but also the inspiration leads me to like completion of certain designs. That's not to say like I'm stealing what shirt, jacket, pants, shoes she has on. It's like I take the feeling I feel and apply it to like wherever I've been stuck. And then that helps me get over that hump. And so sometimes I'm eating, sometimes I'm like laying down in bed, sometimes I'm in the shower. But I think like it's in this part, sometimes it happens way too late. And like I've already made what I think is like gonna be the final sample before production. It's like next time then. Mm-hmm. But normally like those thoughts come soon enough. And like when I'm happy, when I'm eating good, when I'm taking long walks with my dog, it's easier for those things and when I have like peace of mind, it's easier for those things to hit me. And so like the timing so far has not been an issue, but yeah, like it's part of the process is a little random and it like doesn't necessarily have a place, but like it's honest and it's very human.
Yeah. It sounds like you're very intuition based.
Yeah. 100%. Because, like I could have made a hoodie and I could have made shirts and then that been it. But like my intuition was like, no, like there's enough of that. And like, yeah, there are enough t-shirts too, but like also a part of running a business is understanding that like I need items that people will want to buy into. And so that's the shirts and the hat. They're like, if you support the mission and the vision, a pair of socks, a hat, a t-shirt likely won't break the bank. It's something that you can get a lot of wares from. And so like, that's the business side of me. But like this bag, this kimono, the purses, these pants, it's just purely intuition. It's like, okay, I want to make pants, but I don't want to make anything I'm seeing. But I do want to make pants that feel like these pants I picked up in Mexico City mixed with these pants that I like bought in Osaka. Okay, how do I do that? Like, let me look at both pants. Let me take them out of my closet. Like, okay, what do I like? And then like, let me just be myself. And it's like, well, what if I did this? I haven't seen that and people might like it. Like, let's try.
Yeah.
And then like, I create, like I move. So yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were talking a little bit earlier before we started recording about how your pieces are intentionally kind of a little bit oversized or loose.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about why?
Yeah, so I am not gonna name any brands because I'm not here to do that except for Merci Dema. I have found sizing to be an issue. My body type is really interesting. Like I am not a skinny man, but I'm also not a big man. I'm like somewhere in between. And I think when I have bought from brands, I buy the large and like I guess it fits good on my like shoulders and arms, but not my midsection. And like when I bend over, like the back of the shirt like rises up. I can tell right away this is a blank. A blank is like a shirt that someone else has created, and then that person sells it to other people who can buy it in bulk and just screen print on it. No disrespect to that at all. At Merci Dema, what we did is I made the shirt actually like based on my silhouette. I took shirts from my closet that I like different aspects of, and I went to a pattern maker and said, okay, I need the length to be this. I need the shoulders to fit like this, but I love like how this shirt drapes, like how it dances on a body. And then, we got to a version that felt very good. And so I think for me, it was like about the material I was feeling from shirts. Like it didn't feel soft enough. It didn't feel intentional enough. And I wanted the shirt to have like some weight to it when a person wore it to feel like, okay, Merci Dema is vulnerable luxury. Oh, this shirt actually does feel nice. Like it feels like above average in weight and quality.
Yeah, that was when I put this shirt on, everybody. That was the first thing I said is like just touching it. I wish all the listeners could feel it because it doesn't feel like a normal t-shirt that you just like think of. Like when you think of like generic t-shirt. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like it feels softer. It feels like thicker, but not like bulky, like not bulky thick. Do you know what I mean? But like quality, I guess I mean.
Keep going, Waverly. Keep going.
No, it genuinely, it feels like so much more elevated than any other t-shirt from like insert generic t-shirt brand here.
I might have to put you on payroll. I'm just so
genuinely though, I'm not lying. Everybody, like, I wish people could feel it.
Thank you so much. And like, I worked with, like, I had the manufacturer send me swatches. So I went to the fabric store to touch fabrics for like 2 months straight. Just like for hours. I would go around and touch the corduroy, touch the jean, like touch the like the middleweight cotton versus like the heavier weight cotton, touch the twill, like touch the nylon. Like I was going through and learning about fabrics like from YouTube University and just like my senses. And what I also felt when I was like wearing these shirts and thinking about, okay, what do I want to create? It's like, I want size appropriate garments. So this is where I may be pushing back against like the fashion industry a bit, but like, I feel like we've got to a place where, and it's brand specific, right? So like some brands might think a small is like X amount of chest, X amount of shoulders, X amount of width in the body and length. And then that's how they do it. I respect that, but I feel like there are lots of real bodies that need appreciation, that need love. And a lot of those bodies, I think, are most people in America, probably most people in the world. Like they have real bodies, real shapes, real hips, real curves. And I am not at all trying to like promote anything that is unhealthy, but like I want people to feel good. And I know, I'm sure you felt it, like I go in a store, I pick my size out, what I think is my size, because I have it at home in other shirts, right? And I put it on, I'm like, this feels tight. It feels snug. It doesn't feel comfortable. And it costs a lot of money,
Yeah.
you know? And I want people to like put a medium on when they normally would wear a large and be like, oh, I still have space. And this feels better than most shirts I own. Oh, wow. Not only do I like that this brand stands for something, but like Melly is making clothing at Merci Dema, from like shirts to socks to hats with intention. And so I just want to respect and represent and be inclusive of all body types. And that's why I'm sizing all the way down to extra small and extra, extra large. But like in general, the silhouette is baggy. It is oversized. And I think like, again, that's communication about, some days I walk out the door and that's how I feel. Like I feel like a big dog. You know, like after making these pants, I felt like a big dog. But then some days I feel small and I want the comfort of something larger to cover me up. Cause I'm not ready. It's armor. It's preparing me for something, right? To like deal with people at work or like, you know, deal with the New York people in energy, which I love, but sometimes can be challenging, right? That's just a part of being here. So again, that's like me oscillating from like, you know, no utility at all to utility, right? And emotional connection and emotional storytelling being a part of every garment, every time you wear it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, even in the fit, there's a story element behind it.
Yes.
And yeah, exactly. When you were describing like, oh, like someone who normally wears a large goes on to medium, like I'm normally a medium. But I will say, like, as you're talking about like different sizes, I'm like, I think this is the experience of almost every woman where she has something in her closet that's a size small, and she also has something that's a size medium and something that's a size large. And they all like from different brands and they all fit her the same. Like I have all sizes in my wardrobe. I'm not a consistent size because all brands are so different.
Yes.
Like Zara runs so small. Like Zara, I have to get a medium or a large and things, but there's other brands that run so big and I'm a small or extra small. Like it's all over the board. So yeah, that, like when you're saying that, I was like, yeah, I think every woman listening can relate to that 100%. Absolutely. Who is your clothing for?
It's a good question, Waverly. My clothing is for people who want to look fly and want to look good, but also who are really intentional about how they feel, where their emotional maturity is, and how connected they are to themselves, right? Like, so I ultimately, like, you know, I made up this thing. It's like Merci Dema is for the bold but less daring. And ultimately, like, it's for everyone. And so I think that all of us have the capacity to be emotionally intelligent, to be emotionally aware, but not everybody cares about that. You know, like some people, they're like, no, I just want to like rock brands that are cool or rock brands that everybody wear. And if that's the case, like I respect that. Merci Dema is still for you. We still have a home for you, maybe hats, socks, you know. But I think ultimately like my people, like my community, it's people who like really care about fashion and looking good and adding like staple pieces to their wardrobe that can be worn forever. I'm not gonna say are timeless, but like if you are 4 years down the line, your weight is maybe fluctuated up and down, like these pants still gonna fit you, right? And but also that person is likely conscious about like who they are to themselves and the world. They are thoughtful. They are mindful. Maybe they're in therapy. Maybe they're in yoga. Maybe they're just trying to make better choices and decisions when it comes to their dieting, right? But this is a person who is like using everyday feelings and emotions, like the ups and downs, highs and lows, learning to manage them and like embracing them and like, okay, this is communication. I'm going to use them to be better. And so like, those are my people. I think like lots of people will sort of fit into that demographic. Admittedly, some won't. And that's okay, because if everybody liked me, I think that'd be a problem. Like I wouldn't be honest and I wouldn't be authentic. So I don't want to understate like the emotional component of this. And like, even if you aren't emotional, but you love the pants, I hope you buy them. But ultimately, like the pants aren't necessarily for you, right? But I'm happy you like them, but like it's for my guy that like just started therapy and is really excited about that and has a crazy shoe game and like a, you know, a crazy jacket game, right? Like it's for him, but his friends that like his style and might wear it that aren't aligned at all with that part of his life can still get in too, right? But like, I think who I'm for is like very specific. Like those are my people. That's the community. And I think those are the people that are going to get it right. Right. Like when you say Merci Dema means thank you, tears, they're going to be like, all right, bet, cool. Like no explanation needed.
Absolutely. What is your definition of success?
These pants, this kimono, the shirts that you and I are wearing, this bag. I think I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I come from a single mother who has 7 kids. I lived in 53206, which was, and it might still be, the most incarcerated zip code in the nation.
Oh, wow.
So then you're looking at somebody that's defies some odds. So the fact that I have a choice between being a lawyer and fashion design, but really anything I want, is incredible. And so I don't measure, like, the metrics of success for me are not in money, are not in how many places I've been to, not in how many Michelin stars I've eaten at, even though it is quite a few. It's in the audacity, the self-belief and the confidence to do this. Like, I think Merci Dema is success because I could easily still be behind a desk in the rat race thinking that like being a lawyer is going to be like my savior. And I think it took me a long time to like sit with myself. And honestly, it took my sister to ask that question, right? To get me to a place where I'm like, oh, okay, like all the things I thought about success are actually not true. And more so than them not being true, and more specifically, like those metrics for success are just material, right? Like they're about the luxuries and pleasures that like we can afford ourselves. But for me, success is more about like overcoming challenges, right? Like getting up after you fall down, having the gumption to create a new identity at age 35, being able to look back and see that like, wow, I made it out of that neighborhood, even though by design I wasn't supposed to. Like they wanted me to not make it. And I'm still here vibing.
Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing. This is your first collection, right? And it's launching very soon.
Very soon, yeah.
Do you have any goals or anything like I guess, what are you most excited about and what are some of your goals with this first collection?
So, I mean, goal number one of the collection, and I think of every collection thereafter, is to make people feel something. And I know that may be counterintuitive for business. So like maybe that's just like one part of my brain. It's like I want people to be like, that is cool. This is going to start to dictate culture. This is what we're missing, right? Like he is adding something new to the conversation. He's communicating something. I think like first and foremost, that's important. After that, I mean, I would love to sell out every single time. Every single time. And like not built on like a scarcity model, but just because like people love it that much. People like see somebody with a Merci Dema shirt walking down the street and maybe they find a new friend or find the community that they need on their journey because it's been lonely, right? But like, yeah, I think like those are the two biggest goals right now, is like to make people feel, and then to sell out. I'll be honest, like I don't really care about awards or accolades. If the culture likes it, then I'm happy.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Melly, this has been so wonderful. Are you ready to move into the lightning round?
Oh, this all right, now let me set up. It's a lightning round. All right, come
no
on.
pressure. No
Let's
pressure.
do it.
What is something new that you've tried lately?
Oh, this is a good question. So I'm a cook. I learned from my mother, and I'm very good at it. I'll brag about my tagliatelle, which I learned how to make in Rome. I make it by hand, no machine, fire. Like
Wow.
one of the best things you'll ever have in your life. Also, my collard greens, one of the best things you'll have ever in your life. But recently, I have branched out into Korean food. And so the
Ooh.
other night, I made a pork bulgogi with baby bok choy and white rice. It was my first time ever cooking a Korean dish, and it was fire.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Very
Yeah.
cool. Do you have a lesson or a message that you want to share with listeners?
Merci Dema to the world, to everybody.
Absolutely. What is one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
Being a designer takes a lot of patience and a lot of money. I think to truly create designs that resonate with people, that will keep people coming back, but also I think that a person can be proud of, I think is going to require lots of time, lots of editing. And so that's going to naturally mean versions. Version 1, version 2, like of my purse, version 7. I don't even want to tell you how much money I've spent, and that's only on samples. And so, and if a person is like capable of doing it themselves, maybe it won't cost as much money, but then it's going to cost them more time, right? So like, there's going to be some type of trade-off with like money and time resources. And I wish somebody just like was like, look, it's going to cost more money and more time than you thought. And it might take you more time to create your collection than you think, but it's okay. Just stay committed, be patient, and you'll be fine.
Awesome. Melly, this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story for the shirt and everything. Thank
You're
you so much.
welcome.
Where can everybody find you, check out your clothes, buy them all, support you, all of the things? Tell me everything.
Hold on. So thank you so much. I think it's important. So I have a gift here. This is for you and your partner.
Thank
I have a
you.
shirt for him because the brand is called Thank You Tears. I think it's important to show this because the brand is called Thank You Tears. We have some branded tissues.
Oh my gosh.
And it has a QR code. Yeah, and like there's actual tissue in here.
That's so cool.
I have a sticker in here for you. There's multiple. I have some pins for you and him to like stick on a hat or a jacket or something.
God, thank
and so this is for you.
you.
No, thank you so much for having me
Wow,
here.
that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Thank you for believing in me and giving me a platform. And I think it's like really important to emphasize one more time that like more than selling clothing, Merci Dema is really like selling this idea of connection to ourselves and to other people, right? And I hope that it does that. I hope that you feel that from me. And where you can go to support me is mercydema.com. That's the website where you will buy clothing and go sign up for our newsletter and SMS and email. That is M as in Mary, E-R, C as in cat, I, D as in David, E, M as in Mary again, A, mercydema.com. My personal Instagram is mel_ice4. The brand's Instagram is mercy_Dema. On TikTok, we're mercy.dema. And we just started our YouTube channel. It's called Vulnerable Luxury. And so that's where you can find me, stay up to date on what's happening, and follow my journey, and hopefully buy some clothes.
Yes, absolutely. Let's sell him out, everybody.
Let's sell it out. Let's sell it out.
Melly, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.